come shop at Wow Boutique. Located in Vieux-Fort near the Uptown Liquor Store, Wow Boutique is the one-stop shop for all your clothing needs. We have the most durable clothing, shoes, hats, and everything in between. Come visit us this week and add some spice to your look. We're open and ready to help every day at 9 a.m., with the exception of Saturdays and Sundays. Hello and welcome, guys. Welcome to another episode of Family Reflections. I gotta tell you guys what just happened. We've actually been talking for 30 minutes, thinking we're recording, and the conversation was great. We covered a lot of great stuff, and then I kind of looked towards the bottom of the screen and realized we weren't recording. Now, I got to explain to you how this happens. Normally, when we get into these episodes, the software is recording automatically. So I got used to that over the years. And today, that was not the case, probably due to some update or whatever. And here we are, rehashing the conversation a little bit. But here's the thing. Let me tell you what, though. This is actually good, because I have the full context of the conversation and I can do a better job as a host, right?
I think so.
And so here we have Guillaume Rico with us. He's the co-director of Shantaye's World, and also he was an actor in the film, right? And he did a very good job, and he kind of run us through, he kind of run me through, because we were so he ran me through the experience a little bit, and it's a really good story, a really exciting story. And if you could just again run us through a little bit of the timeline leading up to your involvement with Shantaye's World.
All right, so I arrived in St. Lucia in 1999. I forgot to say who am I. So hi, my name is Guillaume Rico. So I was not really involved in the industry before. I'm a lawyer first, and I got a master in art as well from France. So I came in St. Lucia in 1999. I wanted to change my life direction, and I just loved the island, so I stayed. I came on holidays first and I stayed. And I got first a job at the printery, local printery, for about a year. And I got noticed by DBS TV, which is like one of the local TV stations. And they asked me to come as a production manager for the TV, which I did for about 3 years. And then I built up my own company, which was called Chain Reaction Studios, and we were doing like some music videos, TV commercials, stuff like that. It didn't last very long, not because anything technical, but it's just that the person I partnered with went back to Canada. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of a limbo for a while, and I got a job proposal from Visual Domain, which was the leading production company in St. Lucia by the time.
I've heard
it
of
was around 2003. I think I started working for them in March 2003. And I entered as the senior TV producer. So I was a kind of all-rounder, sometimes holding the camera, sometimes directing, sometimes doing special effects. It was really an interesting experience for me. Mm-hmm. And then that company split up into on one side, Media Zone, which Choice TV was already built, actually, but Media Zone on one side and All This the other. And I stayed with Media Zone, so with Choice for a little while, and after I just switched all beats. I like working with all beats because it's fantastic talents. We all have our very strong points, and I believe it's a cohesive environment to work with.
Oh yeah.
So that's it. So that's my story. I've been working with all beats since 2011. And then, well, I was a member of AVFP, AVFPA.
AVFA, yep.
AVFA.
The Film Association, yeah.
That's correct, in St. Lucia. And then I met your mother, which had, by the time, she had a quite nice script called Shantaye's World. And I read the script and I say, well, I think maybe we should partner. And I could provide, well, my team and I, we could provide technical support as well as artistic support somehow to provide a really good looking movie. So your mom said, okay, let's go. And we start shooting, I think it was around 2016, because I can't remember to be honest, but I went to see on YouTube the trailer, which we produced in 2017. So I believe we start shooting around that time, 2016, 2017. So it's a very long process to definitely to make a movie.
Oh yeah, of course. And I really want to speak to, I know you mentioned that you enjoy working at Albiz because of the level of talent that is there. And I want to speak to the fact that in this production, in Shantaye's World, the viewers and listeners, y'all can look forward to really seeing that talent displayed, right? In everything from the color grading. We're going to speak to the special effects a little bit soon. And also to just the cinematography, you know, having an understanding of you know, framing and really, you know, composing shots and getting good shots, and it's a great film, right? And the talent of Albiz really shows there, in addition to the talent on the actual storytelling and acting end as well. And you happen to be part of both worlds, right? You were part of the technical end, and you're also part of the acting end, and we're going to speak to both a little bit today. All right. Now, in the film, this second go around, in our initial conversation, we talked a little bit to the technical end first, but this second go around, I want to start with the acting end. You played Dr. Le Marche, right? In the film. You are I
played a nice guy. Yes. My wife is really a bad woman in the film.
Yes, she really is. She's one of the villains in the story.
Yeah,
for sure. Yes. You are actually from France, yeah?
Yes, I am from France. Yes.
All right. Yeah. So playing Dr. Le Marche was then kind of a natural fit, right? Because Dr. Le Marche is French.
That's correct.
One of my favorite things from you in the film is your facial expressions, your ability to get into the role, and I really believed you in the role. Do you have prior experience acting?
No, not at all. Not at all. But I don't know. It was a nice experience to be in front of the camera. I've been directing all my life. So I know what the director needs, of course. Mm-hmm. And I tried to deliver the best I could.
Right. What was your process though for getting into character? Did you how did you really connect with the role and the script?
Well, it's easy. It was pretty okay for me. I mean, the guy is a doctor. I mean, I didn't have much lines, to be honest. So it's not like it was like you have like 20 pages of lines to rehearse. I had like one or two, you know, but everything was in the expressions. Especially, for example, when I meet Shantaye for the first time, I have to be jovial, you know, and my wife is playing the Antichrist. And that was pretty okay. That was pretty okay. Yeah, it's nicer, I think, to play the nice guy than to play the bad.
Nobody
the
wants
bad
to play
wife.
the bad. Yeah. No, I understand that for sure. And you mentioned on our first conversation here, you mentioned that acting is a bit different, right? Because you said you're comfortable speaking to people and folks.
Yes, I've always been. Sometimes I teach. I teach actually motion graphics.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very comfortable in front of a crowd. But once you are in front of a lens, that's another story. You don't have any feedback really, because when you have a crowd, you can feel them. You can.
Yes.
But there it's a black lens, so
right.
You don't know what people are thinking. So you try your best to enter into the character and do the best you can. My main challenge was to act as a doctor, like a real doctor, because I had no idea. I had a stethoscope, and I'm supposed to check if that woman is dead or not, and I didn't even know where to put the stethoscope. So I guess it's from the heart.
Yeah.
You have to check the heart, but I don't even know what she was dead. We're not saying in the movie why she died, so
right.
I don't really know how to diagnose it. But I did what I could, and most people telling me it's pretty convincing. So.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, right? And guys, when you see the movie, and those of you at the premiere, we've now premiered at the New York Film Festival in LA and in St. Lucia. So there are a few people who have seen the premiere. And so if you've seen the premiere, that you know that when he talks about those scenes, when you actually look at the scene, right, it's super convincing. You believe that, this is a doctor that and you can almost feel his connection to the family as well.
Yes.
And that's the part that I really enjoy about it, because a lot of things don't need to be said, but you capture it from the scene, right? In that scene, I can feel your connection to the family. I can feel some of your shared grief with the family as well. Something as simple as a very somber head shake, just we tried,
Yeah, it's good because it's portraying like the sense of community in St. Lucia, which I believe still exists up to now in small villages, a bit less in towns.
Yes,
but you can feel that sense of community and sense of I help you, you help me kind of thing, and that unfortunately I think it's getting lost a bit, and there is no there was no sense much of racism, should I say that on camera, when the I don't know how it was in the past in the 1950s, but I really want I think your mother in the original book wanted to really say, okay, there was differences. Of course, it was more in the monetary, probably because the guy is a doctor, it's well established, he has a nice house, and etc. And you have people who are living as fishermen and etc. But still, I think we captured that sense of community, which most probably existed in the 1950s.
Yeah, definitely during the time period, I believe there were still like the remnants of colonialism, right? Coming out from under British rule, and Saint Lucia also being French and British, right? So you still had some French people.
I really like the contrast you will have in the movie with the interaction between white and black in St. Lucia and the interaction in between white and black in the UK, which is like a very different story.
Oh yeah.
And I believe we captured it quite accurately.
Yeah. Just pivoting a little bit to the technical end now. I'm a bit curious because some of the scenes were shot in the UK. Did that present challenges different challenges to shooting in St. Lucia?
Well, I was not part of the crew in the UK, so I don't know really what happened there. My only concern is in terms of special effects is the taxi was not accurate. Because it's supposed to have happened in 1950s, and you have like a 2020 taxi.
Well, actually, about that taxi, I think my mom mentioned that there was some effort to get a taxi that was closer to the time period. So I think you're right about it not being completely accurate, but it is, I think, somewhere from the 1960s, 1970s even.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, so
okay.
it got a little
maybe
close.
maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So the
But
fact
definitely
is,
not from the 1940s for sure. So
but when I received all the shots and we start editing and color correcting and etc., I believe they captured pretty good what's supposed to happen over there.
Now, also you did mention special effects, right? Guys, without spoiling the film for you, there's a scene where some people have to get on a boat, right? You don't have to know what boat, you don't have to know where they're going, but they got on a boat, right? And we did not have a 1940 era boat for them to get on. And so Guillaume here had to come in, right, and create a boat, using special effects. And this is something that I want to be clear to you guys would take a typical mainstream film, an entire department of people. You're looking at, let's say, 150 people, 200 people working, full-time, salaried, benefits.
For many years before
right.
the movie released, yes.
Right. And here we had one guy in a room with his machine working on this, and he did an awesome job. Can you tell us a little bit about your process and how that turned out?
Right. So I mean, my main template was the Titanic scene, right? The scene in the Titanic, and of course, I mean, when you're looking at the Titanic, it looks real and whatever. So I tried to be as close as possible, but the very first thing was to find the boat. So, well, of course, there is no boat. So I had to build it in 3D. It's a 3D boat, which is seen in the background. And that was a tremendous task. I mean, it took me about a month and a half to build that boat and working every day.
What software did you use to build it?
3ds Max. 3ds Max.
I've heard of 3ds Max, yeah.
And so it was built, and after I started texturing it, so you have like another extra 2 or 3 weeks, because I mean, I cannot work every day on the thing, I have my own work, I have to make money too. So it was on and off, and you come back and you're saying, okay, yeah, I'm gonna add a bit of that, a bit of there. And then we shot, I mean, in a less than ideal green screen in Vieux-Fort, in a green
warehouse.
A warehouse. The lighting was wrong. It was challenging, and you have like 70 or 80 people you have to direct, all in front of the green screen, and you tell them, oh, you look over there, and they say, but there is nothing there, and you wave down, and so we tried our best, really, with the means we had. I think it doesn't look that bad, considering all the challenges, and it's a one-person job, at the end of the day, to compose it and everything. I'm quite okay with it, I mean, of course, it's not Hollywood, but I mean, if you compare these kind of special effects with like some of the Bollywood movies I've seen, we're pretty on par. It's not that bad, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And even Bollywood movies have way more special effect people than us, So So no, I think it was pretty okay.
No, and he's been modest and saying he doesn't think it was that bad. I think it's great. I think considering all the factors that we have, I think it's very good. And
Thank you, Kelly.
it was
Thank you.
yeah. It was very important to my mom that this was done, and a huge a pain point and stress factor for her. So you really saved the day. You were Superman with a cape on that. You
Yeah,
know?
as I said before, I think it was a super important pivotal scene because it gives some kind of grand production to the film somehow,
Mhm.
and these little scenes are key to me to tie it all together to say, okay, well, that's not that bad movie. It's actually
Yeah.
pretty good.
And it's really a high point of Shantae's story.
Yes, yes, of course.
It's a very
But
high
we
point of
won't
the
spoil
story.
that one.
Yeah, we won't spoil it. And just a while ago, literally, I think right before I realized we weren't recording, I was saying that a lot of people are saying, they want to see the film, they want to see the film. And we were trying to explain that, there's a natural life cycle to a film's release, right? And so right now we're at the point where the film is done, we have the master, and we've now sent to some film festivals. And I want to take the time to announce, I should put some clap sounds here. I want to take the time to announce that we have been awarded the best feature in our category by the International New York Film Festival. So Shantae's World is now an award-winning film, and I want to congratulate you for your efforts on that, and congratulate the All Biz team as well.
Yeah, that's definitely a teamwork. I mean, when you see and you are on the set, you realize it's a lot of people involved, and everybody have to have their own talent and their own special skills, which they have developed over the years,
Yeah.
and no, it's really a teamwork. It's a team effort.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the secret sauce for Shantae's World is that we had very strong technical skill and talent, and we also had very strong storytelling and
Yeah.
acting skill,
Yeah.
right? And I was blown away by people such as Cokes. Everybody knows Cokes, and lovely Saint Amy,
Oh yes,
and
they're fantastic.
and all the Shantays did a great job. Denzi Charles, everybody falls in love with Denzi and
It
Talisa.
was fantastic to work with these people when I directed scenes, which was not all the time. That's why it's co-directing, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes, I mean, when you see that kind of talent, it's just easier to shoot. I mean, sometimes you're gonna get one take, maybe two, and that's it because they are so good. You don't have to do anything, and they know the story well, and they are into character, and they were just really easy to work with. Really easy.
Yeah, and I can't go without mentioning Colby as well. Guys, if you want to, you can check out some of the past episodes. I've spoke to Colby, who played Claude Le Marche, and I've spoke to the other two of the other main Shantays. I haven't spoken to our oldest Shantae yet. I'm looking forward to doing so in the future, who is the past Governor General of St. Lucia, Dame Paulette Louise. So I'm looking forward to speaking to Dame Paulette Louise really soon. She did a great job in a very short time period, because we actually shot her piece of the film during the pandemic, right? And towards the end. So she did a great job, lacking a lot of context even. And it came together really well.
I can give you some anecdote about that one too, because that was not planned to be in the movie at all.
Right.
I don't know if you know, Kelly.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
So that part was, once again, it's my inspiration from Titanic. And I always liked the way James Cameron introduced the whole story told by the woman who was on the boat, and now she's old. Mm-hmm. And I believe that was I believe the addition of that scene would tie everything together nicely. And I proposed that to your mother. And well, after many discussions, because she was not too hot about it. Beginning, but I think we made it happen, and it's nice. It's a nice idea.
Absolutely, absolutely. It gives a very regal feel to the film, I find.
Yes,
Right?
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So I'm really happy about that. And guys, yeah, I'm really looking forward to you guys seeing this. Now here's the other thing as well. On the technical side of things, um, I asked you at the top of our discussion a
Previous
while ago,
conversation.
our previous conversation. How do you see cinematography, videography changing over the years in St. Lucia, and where do you see it going in the future?
Oh, all right. So, well, when I came in 1999, it was pretty rustic. Yeah, I would say. I mean, we were using the technology in in some TV stations because that's where I was working at the time. We were using technology which was already like 20, 30 years old. Because the equipment was crazy expensive for even for a TV station in St. Lucia. I mean, you couldn't afford. I went later on. I went in Atlanta actually to the headquarters of CNN, and I visited them as a visitor, right? And you realize one camera is cost about 400,000 US for one camera to shoot news.
Right.
So we simply couldn't afford here any kind of cameras like that. So we were using like old technology cameras. I mean, you couldn't have made, it was called what we call ENG cameras, which are like, everything is flat. It's a bit like your phone 10 years ago. I mean, yeah, there is no depth of field, right? So with whatever skills you have, you couldn't shoot something looking like a movie because of the lens of the camera.
Okay.
So in around 2003, 2004, there was a revolution in cameras, and now suddenly Canon released a camera where you could actually put a lens on it, and it was recording in HD, which was like, wow, you know? So we could not only record in HD, but on top of that, we could actually making look productions like films, because the fact to have a lens, you can zoom in and have some kind of depth of field, so it emulates what the eye sees. You know, when you're looking at something, it's in focus, but everything else is out of focus. And this is exactly what your eye see, and these cameras could actually emulate that. So, and it was available for the consumer. I mean, my first camera like that was about 4,000 US, which was not that crazy expensive compared to a 400,000 US ENG camera, right? So we start buying that, and well, we start shooting like real cinematographers finally in St. Lucia, because it was available and
now, just let me hop in. When was this time period where you would say that those cameras had been purchased and that gap had been closed?
I would say 2003, 2004 in St. Lucia.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I shot my first movie, which is 21 Days with Dale Elliott. I shot it with a Canon Mark II, which is the camera I just had purchased, and I wanted to feature it, you know, to see what you can do with it. And it got quite nice reviews. So it went out in the cinemas, and it was a docudrama. It was interesting. And yeah, so that's the pivotal thing was the introduction of this kind of cameras. Yeah. Now, of course, you can shoot a full movie on a phone. Since now, I would say about 4 or 5 years, you can really. I mean, phones have become very good at that. Still not perfect. I really believe. I don't think the phones are going to be going that better at that point, because you still need the physical
the physical sensor
thing,
and
to get a better looking shot. But I mean, everybody can shoot a movie on the phone, which is good. I think that's where the future is. People are going to do their own productions, and it's good. I think as a company, we will keep an edge on many other things, not really the looking, but definitely color correcting, scripting, things like that, which for now cannot be done by your phone yet.
Right,
The phone will not script you a story yet.
Yeah,
But,
and that's something I really want to see going into the future, and even coming out of this conversation, viewers and listeners, if you're watching this and you have an interest in cinematography and videography, you now live in a day and age where you don't need to buy, as he said, a $400,000 camera to start.
Nope.
All you need is to educate yourself and to try and to learn.
Yeah, right. You can even edit everything on the phone. You don't even need a computer to edit anymore.
Yeah. So some of our best sketches, you know, I have a Lumix G7 mirrorless camera and a zoom lens that I use, and another, you know, regular lens. But a lot of the skits and sketches that we've done on I Know the Pictures, I did with my Galaxy phone. I used the gimbal and I had my Galaxy phone, and after I would color it a little bit and, you know, just, you know, spruce it up a little, sharpen it a little bit in post-production, but it was still just a phone video, right?
Yeah, and I think the stabilization devices have improved as well, and you can get good stabilization now, which was like the main thing in the past, where you could recognize a proper production compared to somebody who is not really. So once you start having that handheld feel, and it doesn't feel heavy, because you have handheld in cinema, but these cameras are like 15 pounds. So you get much more inertia, right? Yeah. But I mean, in the past, once you see a handheld shot, people will say, okay, that's not good.
Right.
So stabilization really have improved as well, the cinematography. All the stabilization, the gimbals you can buy now, which are pretty cheap.
Yeah. So, guys, I want to tell you guys once again, thank you for your patience so much with Shantaye's World. We're excited that it is now an award-winning film. Guillaume did a great job both on the acting end and also special effects and working with co-directing as well. And the Allbiz team is really an invaluable. Is it invaluable? I'll just say valuable because I'm not sure what invaluable means right now. Valuable 50% of the magic. That brought this film to a reality. And, you know, I'm really looking forward to you guys seeing what we did, you know, and so you guys are seeing this on Monday, as always. You'll be seeing me again in 2 weeks. I appreciate you. Thanks for joining us. Guillaume, thank you so much for joining me. Oh, yeah. And guys, I will say this. If you don't want to wait until we're done with all these film festivals, the good news is we were selected at the Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival. And we have interest from the BFI London Film Festival. And also we submitted to the Leeds Festival in England, and also the Toronto Film Festival as well. So keep your fingers crossed for us, pray for us that we get awards at these things. But coming out of that, I promise you will see the film if you haven't already. And if you don't want to wait so long to get acquainted with the story, the book is currently for sale on Amazon. So you can check that out. We have book launches coming up in Boston, and we're also looking at Toronto as well. So we're going to be working towards that. So stay tuned, join the mailing list if you haven't already, and see you soon.